here some money for white male students. I'm joined now by the president of the former Majority Association for Equality, Colby Bohannon, and Mark Lamont Hill, professor of education and African American studies at Columbia University. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Hey, Colby, I'm going to start with you. Let's talk about the $1,000 scholarship. In it, to be eligible, you must be a male, at least 25% Caucasian, and either be a college student or a high school senior with at least a 3.0 GPA. What brought you to create this scholarship?
Well, originally the idea started in 2002. I was splitting a one-bedroom apartment with my cousin Brandon. We were working full-time, going to school full-time, and we started to conduct a search for scholarships for our own financial aid. We applied to a couple. Unfortunately, we were not awarded any scholarships. We're not saying that's because we were Caucasian male, but what we did find during our search were dozens, hundreds, thousands of ethnically based scholarships that were for this group, that group, or whichever, but none of them were focusing on Caucasian Americans.
Right. You know, and Mark, let's build on what Colby's saying there. He may have a point here. There are scholarships for all kinds of racial groups and ethnicities. And we've got some of the data here. High school to college immediate transition rates. Let me show you this. Whites 72, Hispanic 64, and African American 56. It's just some of what we're seeing right here. And first, respond to that for us, would you?
Well, first of all, being white itself is a form of scholarship. White people have access to school in ways that black people don't, as well as criminal justice, as well as housing, as well as health care, as well as food. I mean, we could go on down the list of social issues and that white people are advantaged over other people of color and other groups. So to that extent, there's no need. The other issue here is that scholarships historically have been has been to respond to historical forms of inequality. That's why there's scholarships for people who are African American or Native American, because they haven't had access both financially or in terms of getting into the schools. White folk have never had a problem getting into schools. This is part of a spectacle that we see every year with affirmative action bake sales, with now whites-only scholarships, which only draw attention to white folk who are becoming increasingly frustrated with the fact that the world might just be becoming a little bit more fair.
Now, Colby, is it about inequality? You were shaking your head there.
First of all, I just want to thank him for pointing out the fact that since white folk, his words, not mine, have no problem affording anything,
white, right?
I'm going to go ahead and go to the bank right after I'm done with this interview. I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to say, hey, I forgot that I was a Caucasian American. Can you just go ahead and throw some money in my account, please?
No, but what they will do is give you, statistically, you are much more likely to get a lower interest rate with the same credit score as I am. White men
our organization is not talking about credit scores.
But you're mocking the point as if white people are not advantaged in the public sphere. The fact is, if you had a felony conviction, you'd be more likely to get a job call back than me without one. These are real issues, and those things play into college admission. They play into college scholarships. This is about the purchase that whiteness has in public. It's a fact.
Colby, how many have you watched? Have you looked out? Have you counted the number of scholarships that do address the same space that you're trying to help?
To my knowledge, there have been a couple of different attempts to provide Caucasian American scholarships before. One was by a college Republicans group that really received a lot of negative attention and eventually got shut down. And I believe there was one individual on the internet that tried to make a stand, but these other groups were taking stances against affirmative action. They were taking stances against different things. And we're not taking a stance against anything. All we're trying to do, and it's very, very simple. People keep putting words into our mouth and intention in our heads. It's all it's about is helping poor Caucasian Americans who want to better their life and get an education, and that's the group that we're trying to help.
Colby Bohannon, Mark Lamont Hill, thank you both for joining us today. Charlie Sheen tweets about his twin boys taken.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Filosco here, reporting live from a certain area in Russia that I can't give away. Just came back from being outside where it's crazy. I don't think I'm gonna really film this area too much because apparently it's not the area to film. You know, it's a tough, scary military town. So bringing my camera around will look bad, especially because it makes me look like a spy. But anyway, back to what we just finished watching. First of all, Lamont Hill, he's the man. He's mad cool. I think he'd be an amazing rapper because he's so good at speaking. He'd make an amazing rapper. He doesn't have to rap about bitches and hoes and shit, but he can just rap about real shit. And I think he'd be good at it. He'd be real good at it. But anyway. White-only scholarships. What is my point of view? Well, I honestly agree with Lamont on this one because this dude was like, the reason why these scholarships were made were to make up for injustices of the past, basically, like to even it out. So like throughout history, let's say the last even 200 years, you know, whites have had a lot of advantages over blacks because of how they had things going with racism, slavery, Jim Crow, whatever you want to call it, all those things. So we're likely to have, you know, as much privileges as them. Even to this day, it still affects us to this day, 100%. It still affects us to this day. You know, a lot of companies and all that stuff, people, founders became rich back then. They still passing that money down even to this day. So I do see a reason to make like black scholarships, Native American scholarships, maybe Asian scholarships. Maybe Asians have been negatively affected somehow. Maybe it's Japanese or something because of the war. Many reasons to kind of make up for the injustices of the past, to even things out. I understand that. But now let's say, if things do get generally even, let's say everyone's satisfied, yeah, we're even. Should people be allowed to make a white-only scholarship? Well, you know, logically to me, I don't see the problem if everyone else can have one. Remember, we're imagining if everything's even now. Logically, I don't see the problem with having a white-only scholarship in that case. But the only thing is, I don't know if it's just a white thing or it's just like a race thing in general. But whenever there's like a known white-only like organization, they're like fucking extremely prejudiced and shit and hateful. Like I notice whenever a bunch of white people together say white people only, it's coming up what nigger, faggots, and all this stuff follow. You know, it's like niggers, faggots. It's like I don't know any pro-white organizations that don't try to make everyone else look bad. They're not like just getting themselves up. It's like, let's get ourselves up and keep these people down kind of thing. That's usually how it is, from what I see. But then it can be, same thing can be said for black organizations. Like, what do we have? Like the Black Panthers. You have like the Black Israelites. You know, usually these groups where you exclude members of another race, they become, because of their race, they just start being hateful. You know what I mean? They just start being real hateful. Like when Martin Luther King back in the days when he brought people together of all kinds who had the same goal, you didn't have that problem. There are people of all races and stuff like that. So I see, I see these making groups based on race thing not good. Now, I'm not trying to compare necessarily the Black Panthers to a scholarship, basically, but I'm just using that point to show you that a lot of times where these groups are made based on race, they usually talk a lot of bullshit about other people and maybe even start trying to hurt other people. But now back to the scholarships. Man, I don't know, because I understood what the white dude was trying to say. Go to the bank, like, oh, I forgot I was white. Can I get some extra money? Nah, it's not like that. Like, people just, because first of all, like I said before, like I mentioned in another video, a lot of people are just naturally racist. A lot of people don't realize that. When I say racist, I mean they just judge things based on race. A lot of people are a little naturally fucking racist, dog. Like, so like if you're a white person, you have a job, and you have a white person and a black person coming to do the job, and they both score a 70 on the test, you're probably likely to pick the white person because you're just more comfortable with him. It might remind you of your brother. You might have been brought up around a lot of white people. Doesn't mean you hate anybody. It just means you're more comfortable with that. You know, so everyone has their own little level of racism. Everybody has it. No one's Mr. I love everybody equally, and I know everyone has a little bit of it, and it's natural. A lot of it's natural. And that's basically it. All I have to say on this. I mean, I want to know your opinion. Should whites right now? Do you think whites should be able to have their own little, college system? I forgot what it's called already. We were drinking vodka last night. These guys drink me under the table. I woke up with the illest freaking headache, and they were absolutely fine. Like they didn't drink like 20 shots of vodka. You know, it's Jesus Christ, man. My head is killing me. Scholarship program. Do you think they should have their own scholarship program? Now, let's say, like I said before, and please answer that, if things were even, let's say we're even from history, whatever, we're all on the same level, then should it be cool for them to have an all-white scholarship? And you can't front as well. When you're a white person and you want to do anything all-white in America, you're going to look like an evil person. You're going to look like you're going to look racist. You know, that's what everyone's going to say, oh, you're racist. But if you start an all-black organization, you're not going to look racist. It's going to look like you're just trying to help your people. But the thing is, like, when you're a majority like that, you know, you've been running the history of this country, you're not really going to start any white organizations without looking like you're Hitler or something. It's just not going to happen. Like, I think a lot of you just need to kind of get over that. You know, it's going to take a long time in order for white people to say, oh my God, we're so outnumbered, we don't have the power, we have to start white organizations, because you're not in that position. You know, like if a black person's fucking up, he's fucking up. But if you're white and fucking up, you're really fucking up. Because that's how people see it. You know what I mean? Like if there's a black dude in the hood, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're a white dude in the hood, it's like, wow, he's really fucking up. You know what I mean? That's how it's seen. Now, of course, there's a lot of white people in the South who are fucking up. We all know that. A lot of people in general in the South who are fucking up. But just in general, like a white person who makes $20,000 a year, or a black person who makes $20,000 a year, the white person will look poorer than a black person, even though they make the same amount of money. Because I guess on average, the stereotype is people expect more from white people. They expect them to be to have a little more money, have better credit. They're expected to have better credit. They're expected to behave in another sort of way. And I guess that's basically it, people. I'm out. My battery's dying. Try to make another video before the day's over, and catch you guys back when I'm in America. Yeah, awesome.